Right?
What? Kingdom Hearts 4-panel comic. Let me know if you need anything. It's a genie to Sora. Thanks, Magic Lamp. The master is calling. Apparently he rubbed his lamp. Come on out, genie. And he's excited. Can you open this jar for me? Yeah, I feel sorry for Robin Williams.
I know, right?
That's one of my favorite comics out of that comic book.
I'm still amazed they made this a comic.
And that's not the only one.
Yeah, I know that.
I have every single one of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Why? Of the comic?
Yeah.
Why? What possessed you
Hey.
to do that?
It's Kingdom Hearts.
Get this started so you can actually record it.
Well, I am recording.
Well, record in the proper order.
Actually, with a lot of the podcasts, they actually just started like this. For the ones that I listen to. Just straight into the conversation.
Yeah, that's the ones I listen to as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can even use this conversation right now because that's part of it.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not? We're just nerding out.
Exactly.
Nerds on a couch.
Nerd on a couch. That's what I should have named this podcast. Nerds on a couch.
And in a chair.
And a chair.
Do the
I'm
couch chair.
So welcome to our first podcast, Nerd Talk, or whatever we're going to call this. At
Nerd talk. Nerds on a couch. Nerds in a chair.
Exactly.
We're nerds geeking out.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, let's roll our intro. Konnichiwa, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Nerd Talk Podcast, your one-stop entertainment for all anime and manga, along with other various topics within the nerd community. Without further ado, on to the show. Alright, what do you guys thought of that opening?
Bland.
You're lucky I can't say what I actually want to say. Alrighty. So basically, to start off of our show, since this is our first show, let's talk about, how we got started. What made us nerds here? I'm like, I have a whole pile of anime right here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is like a percentage of what I
fraction.
have. I literally counted how many before the show.
It's the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg.
Oh God, yes, and these are basically the ones that got me down the rabbit hole. I literally have a total in my collection, 197 individual anime series.
Wow.
Nice.
It almost sounds like I have a problem. That's why I call it a hobby. That's my excuse. It's a hobby, not an obsession.
Wrong.
It's a hobby. I have to
yeah.
call it that.
I mean, last I counted myself, I have about 60 to 70 anime series myself.
Wow, that's actually kind of surprising.
It's like you didn't expect it, like, huh, okay.
You said you don't watch much anime, but you have 60 titles. I'm like, what the heck?
At least. Last I counted.
I mean, I even counted my manga series.
Manga, I have like one bookshelf. Like one shelf.
Oh, just a singular
Yep,
shelf.
just a shelf.
Oh, that sounds so lonely. I have a whole bookcase.
Yeah.
I have a total of like 62 individual manga series. That's not counting full completed. That really narrows it down.
Yeah, I have maybe two fully completed manga series right now.
Yeah, so basically pretty much, some of the first animes like I watched were more of the mainstream stuff anyway, like on Channel 11 with 4Kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, from where I was at, it was
Channel 15.
Well,
that's
that's
Channel 15 for me.
Oh, what was it? It was Fox 42.
yeah. It's Fox.
No, not 42. Fox 44. Sioux City.
Yeah.
So it was, and I don't think they actually had the CW at the time. It was always WB.
I think it was CW for us.
No, it was the WB, or because it had WB Kids,
Yeah.
and then it became the CW. But
Yeah.
this was like, yeah,
I remember the WB.
I know like the one up in Sioux City that I think it was Fox that started in like 2000,
Yeah, that's...
or at least that station. So
Yeah,
that
'cause
was something. It just went from there.
Because some of the shows that were on there if I would have classified, like, if anime were drugs, the gateway drug would have been, like Pokemon.
The shows that I remember for sure watching either that or at that same time was Transformers. That's how I
It took
started.
me forever to realize that was almost anime.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a stretch, but
It was
You
animated
could.
by a Japanese company. It was an American concept and
Yes.
script. Animated in Japan. What does that say? We can't draw giant robots.
and then the Japanese continue the story on like Beast Wars and
So they just
actually
wrote
the
they just
Generation
rolled
1.
with the concept.
Yeah. But what they did I know for the 90s, they took the 80s version, the G1, and then they just took some of those episodes and kind of called it G2 in a way, but they just like redesigned the episodes, and it was like the Cybertronian space cube bringing the stories of the Transformers or something like that.
Oh, that was an interesting
I know,
thing.
it's like they actually put some effort into redesigning it, so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Let's see, there's the Power Rangers, of course. That's still something going on today.
Oh, God,
still
yes.
today. That could be like a whole other thing.
Oh God, yes. Just like with
especially
especially Gundams.
Oh, I
I was
know.
gonna say Power Rangers just came out with a new Boom Studio comic series.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
I'm
was
like,
that the Shattered Grid or something?
Yeah.
So I had one other friend. Oh my God, he could talk about freaking Power Rangers until the cows come home. I'm like, you couldn't get him to not talk.
The Entertainment Tonight actually did I think it was like a Zoom video call with some of the original cast from the '95 movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that one.
yeah. So they had like all they did have them all, but they had like a decent amount, and they also the one who played Ivan Ooze,
Yay.
which I did not realize because it never dawned on me. He was like the main antagonist in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
that's cool to know.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, because they were talking about how he was on Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's like, wait, what?
And I know that over on Spotify, there's this like Power Rangers audio drama that's kind of consistently going. There's like I think 12 or 13 episodes currently available, but it's kind of its own things, but it's with the original cast, like Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, all of them. But it's kind of changes it up a little bit story wise.
Oh yeah, it's just so fun to see what they did for what is it like 30 years? Pretty close to
Yeah, it's like at least.
maybe 27 ish.
Because I forget, did it start in the 70s or
No,
the 80s?
93.
Was that the first episode?
Yeah, it was 93 was Mighty Morphin.
But didn't the comics start before that?
You know what? I think it was probably around the same time. However, tying back to Japan, I forgot what the actual footage was from, but they took it from like Kamen Rider or some, I don't remember exactly what it was. They took that fight footage from Power Rangers, or for Power Rangers, and then put in the American actors and spliced it together.
That's interesting.
And you can definitely, and there's some actually YouTube videos that actually show side by side, so you can see where the American version, what they did, and what the Japanese style did. It's actually quite interesting to see. It's like, that's how they did it. But how they presented it, they still did it well.
Yeah. So you had a lot to say right there.
Oh, yeah. So, and that's just that with that one. So that's why I was like, that one can go on for a while.
Oh God, yeah.
Some other ones I remember is, I think everybody knows Pokemon. That started around that same time.
Yeah. I remember, like, back when I was a kid, when they first introduced Pokemon, they had, like, a whole bunch of, Burger King toys and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Burger King toys with the golden cards and
unfortunately, that wasn't one of those shows that I really got attracted to. I mostly went for Digimon, even though everybody... Digimon could kick the Pokemon.
oh,
Well, for me, I didn't even know what anime was until in junior high.
I don't think anybody really knew until...
It's like, ooh, cartoons. Don't get me started with the censoring they started doing once I realized what they did. I'm like, wait, what? Why? Why did you do that? You didn't need to change a rice ball into a sandwich.
Oh, yeah. So there's that part. There's also all the different artworks. Sorry, I need to actually say what show I'm talking about. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
There it is.
So that's because if you, even to this day, even with the card game as well, the Japanese version has different artwork or is changed compared to what the American version is.
They censor a lot of the artwork cards from various.
Dark Magician is like the main one. That's like poor Dark Magician girl.
Dark Magician girl. Yeah,
she goes from like a good size, maybe C or D, to like an A cup. It's like
they cover it.
So yeah, they have that type of stuff. Harpy Lady would be like a good example.
It was Harpy Girl actually, not Harpy Lady.
It's
part of the same archetype.
Yeah. So there's so many different Harpy Lady cards. I'm just grouping them all together. Yeah. In the American, they always call it Harpy Lady. Yeah. So I'm just going with that.
And I mean, they also changed some of the names from OCG, which is the Japanese one, to the TCG, the American one.
Kind of like what they did with the Pokemon names.
Probably.
A little bit, but not.
That one
I literally, because of the American dub, I cannot watch the sub. So no matter what, I cannot watch the subtitled version of Pokemon. Well, it doesn't feel right to me.
To be fair, I rather just do dub, then I don't have to pay attention closely to read the screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, back with all the different censorships, there's the Pokemon with the right donut.
Yeah,
I guess you can't see air quoting donut. Yeah, calling it a rice ball.
They also did One Piece.
Yes.
There was one that I didn't even realize it was censorship until someone told me, because it fits so well. And that was with Sanji.
And I
with
think
the
that
lollipop.
Makes it work.
It worked. This dude was a freaking gourmet chef, and he always has a lollipop in his mouth. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy just has a sweet tooth. Later did I realize that was a censorship, that it was actually supposed to be a cigarette. And I'm like, I prefer the lollipop. It feels
it actually
better.
Feels a little bit better, yeah.
Yeah, but it was an acceptable censorship. That one made sense. Some of the other ones didn't really make that much sense.
There's a few good scenes in the first season of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Where at least some of the guards actually have guns in the OCG, the actual original version. In the TCG, that was a big no-no. Oh, you can't have guns.
Oh yeah.
So most of them, they're either like going like this, and it looks like
weird kind of censored.
It looks like they're holding like they have their index fingers extended outward, like they're going to pull the trigger type deal, but there's nothing there. So it's like. Or they changed it to extended figures, like, you!
Yeah, I actually saw on, like, an image thing, because I'm working on a paper for, like, censorship. And so I saw one clip, and it dealt with one of the girls with the censored version was, it dealt with the guy with the long shark nose, the first arc when we meet Minami. that the main like blue hair girl had him like at a shovel point, having the shovel in his mouth. That actually was a rifle, and I'm thinking to myself, the shovel seems more brutal than a gun.
Yeah.
I mean,
She literally has a shovel in his mouth. I'm like, the gun seems more merciful. This girl's out for blood.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is.
Obviously,
Yes.
she is, but it made
know the
it
context.
worse.
Uh,
Like, this chick isn't just gonna shoot him in the head. She's gonna cut off his head.
But then with the manga versus the anime, there was a whole completely different thing. Just in Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
just,
the manga with Pokemon it's super dark.
Actually,
so
I
is
think all of
Yu-Gi-Oh.
them-
They're all dark. Even
yeah.
Digimon.
I think I don't know about Digimon. I didn't know if that one actually had.
Well,
a manga.
One Piece, obviously, I knew that One Piece was really dark.
Bleach is way darker
But,
in the manga.
But at least Yu-Gi-Oh! I know from what you said and my sister that one is darker. As I
They actually kill some of the main characters that we see later in the anime off, like Pegasus. He gets actually shot. Bandit Keith, he gets shot.
Oh, you're talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh manga. I thought
Yes.
we were still talking about like One Piece. I'm like,
Oh.
everyone dies in One
I think
Piece.
we're just kind of rounding the manga version.
And then, before we get back to One Piece or even Bleach, in Pokemon, some of the Pokemon get ripped in half.
Yeah, I actually watched a YouTuber actually discuss on
Oh,
how dark
poor
Pokemon
Jazz.
really is. I'm like, Team Rocket is out for blood.
Not just Team Rocket either.
It was everyone.
Team Magma, Team Aqua, all of them. And then, but with the Bleach manga versus like the anime, they actually had to stop the anime for Bleach for some reason or another. I can't remember.
They just came to like they never the from what I understand where they stopped with the which arc did they stop
it was like
at?
the Aizen arc.
No, they continued on after the Aizen arc. After the Arrancar arc, they got to oh god, what are they called? It's like the same powers as like what Orihime has.
Okay.
Full brains.
Yeah.
It was a full brain arc, which I actually thought it was a filler until
No.
I read the manga.
No.
This was an actual arc. I'm like, this actual arc sucks.
I love the Mount arc, but in the anime they had to stop it. Once the anime itself stopped, the manga continued. The writers figured this out. It went from lighthearted to a little bit dark to completely blood dark anime in the manga. I mean, where some of the Bankai or their special abilities was completely I'm going to torture you with the Cruciatus curse, and you are going to die.
Did they do something like that with the Yu-Gi-Oh, where like some of the different arcs in the TV show, anime, I guess, whatever you want to call it, isn't that? Didn't they do that something similar to that?
With the
Like,
Shadow Realm.
like a yeah.
The Shadow Realm. In the
Or the side story where, like in Battle City, they took a hard detour to the virtual world.
with
Yeah.
Noah.
Twice.
Noah. But no, in the manga, the Shadow Realm was basically nobody came back.
Death.
Yeah.
Nobody came back from the Shadow Realm
It was
in
hell.
In the manga, at least. And then there's another.
That's another censorship.
There's another complete off manga called Yu-Gi-Oh! R, which was never even animated. Let's not even talk about Season 0. Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 was just...
Yeah.
Look it up. Yu-Gi-Oh! R, though, was never animated. And Kaiba almost dies in that one, because there was something called the Evil Gods, which were the evil versions of the most powerful cards in existence.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they actually did print them all in real life as the Wicked Gods. Probably.
Yeah.
Because that's where they get that. They look pretty close to what the Egyptian gods, the big three, but then they're like the dark counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Which they were.
They're
okay.
literally they were supposed to be the cards that were never going to be created, but they were one of the ways that Pegasus designed to counteract the Egyptian god cards, just in case. But they were never completed, never released, And so when forget what the guy's name is, your sister would know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But whoever got a hold of it basically completed the project and kind of gave them even more powerful abilities to counteract the god cards. And there was a card called Rank Up or something like that. It's a weird concept that could even overpower a god card as long as it had a higher ranking, like king to like emperor type ranking.
So
Interesting.
let's take a quick break, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty.
Haven't you heard? Otaku USA's got you covered for all your anime and manga needs. Keep up to date with in-depth articles and reviews of the latest anime and manga series. Spike your curiosity with 32 pages of free manga in every issue. And don't forget to get your game on. Otaku USA has in-depth reviews of the latest games and titles, as well as breathtaking and stunning cosplay photos. So subscribe today and get your own copy of Otaku USA. Go get your nerd on, Otaku USA.
Alright, welcome back to Nerd Talk. Well,
On a couch.
on a couch, on a chair, lawn chair,
On a couch,
go
on
America,
a chair,
or should I say
on the
go
floor,
Japan?
anywhere.
Eh,
I think it's
take your pick.
All right.
It's a little bit of both. So where we left off was we kind of got on a tangent with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well,
So I'm like,
Oh.
everything goes
That's
back
probably-
to Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's probably like, well, yeah, it's like that whole series, at least in the card game, kind of just like dabbled in, let's go with this the one. There's actually in the part of the archetypes of the cards themselves, there's vacuum cleaner type ones, appliances. There's ones that have different
Airplanes.
yeah.
Actually, yeah. There's
I got a lot of those.
they also take things from like different things like Star Wars and Godzilla and
Okay, I haven't seen any of those referencing any of that.
The term Cosmos.
Cosmos,
It's a cross between Wizard of Oz and
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
And then there's Kai.
Wait,
and-
what?
Yeah. and then
That's
Yeah, I'll have to
Okay.
show you a picture of that one.
or
Oh,
I'm
God.
from the deck.
Well, yeah.
Um, and then there's the kaijus take things from Godzilla. Like there's Gamma.
It took me a long time to realize what kaiju meant.
Same here. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Because there was a show, Pacific Rim, that had the term kaiju and stuff like that. And I just watched an anime that had the same, almost like it was a ripoff from, like, whoever came up with Pacific Rim ripped off this anime. It was called Go Danner. And it had two people, a guy and a girl, and a mech that required two people, the pilots.
Sounds very similar.
And you're battling giant monsters that are coming from the ocean. I'm like,
It's like, wait a minute.
something doesn't seem right.
Something's fishy here.
And it
No pun
isn't the
intended.
kaiju.
Or is it?
But, like, when I watched this, now this is an older anime, this is like early 2000s, and I just happen to be watching this because I'm looking for a funny comedy ecchi that had mechas in it. And I'm like, the girls down there, it's like, let's just say there's no girl that's ever going to actually look like that without actual plastic surgery. So it is theoretically possible, but naturally, no. There's a lot of fan service in this one. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But that's about it.
I mean, I know of a couple of fan service animes that I like, and none of the girls.
Sekirei.
Oh, I was thinking more of Monster. I forget what it's called. It's like Monster. Oh God. I can't even remember what it is now. It's like
What was
Monster
it?
Masune or
Monster Moon. Oh, Everyday Life of Monster Girls. With the Snake
That one.
Girl, Harpy
Yeah,
Girl.
Yeah, that one.
I think
That
you
one.
showed me a little bit of that one.
I
Or at
have that
least-
on DVD
That,
on Blu-ray.
that is literally fan service at its core.
And tapping into a little bit of that deep, dark urge of bestiality.
Is that where they got Dragon Maids from?
Maybe.
No. Dragon
no.
Maids was something completely different.
No.
Which is,
There's an actual archetype called Dragon Mates. You know that. You have some
Oh,
of the
you're
cards.
talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh card ones.
Yeah.
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 But that's why I was like, is that where
It
they
might be.
got-
It might be.
because I don't know what the whole waifu thing is
Uh,
with those ones, but
if
everybody
you,
likes
speaking of
them.
waifus, everyone has a waifu.
I have a couple, thank you very much. And
Same
some
here.
husbandos.
Nice to know you're batting for that side of it too. Though I would have to say I do have one. I do have one yaoi one that I just absolutely adore, and that's Karu from Neo Genesis.
Okay.
I am actually fine with that shipping.
But
Shinji and Karu. I am actually fine with that shipping. Out of all the other shippings out there, I'm like, Loveless, don't care. Any other ones like Yuri on Ice?
yes, I love your young.
That was still good. What got you into figure skating? Yuri on Ice.
Not me.
You degenerate.
For me, to answer that question,
It was
before-
really good.
But to answer your question, what got me in figure skating is I actually took lessons as a kid.
Ooh, so you can actually relate to that anime.
Yes, actually, that's probably why I like it as much as I did.
So I do have a funny story about this anime.
Okay.
So one of my friends, one of the local theaters had the whole series since what was it, like 12 episodes?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or
12
something.
episodes.
They just were going to have the full marathon, essentially so it was like 4 hours, and
Only 4 hours?
or something, I don't know, with like a 20-minute intermission. So whatever it was, whatever the time, maybe 5. One of my friends say, "Hey, you want to come with us to watch this anime? You doing anything this Saturday?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." Sure, why not? Not knowing anything about this. It was quite a surprise. Like, why am I watching this?
I mean, what were your thoughts on Victor?
I actually, it's been a while since I watched it, but it's more like, I'm like the both of, and this was like 3 of us watching this. 2 the other 2 were female, so they like, I don't know what was that, but I'm like, I like he was like Turtle's like, what am I watching?
What did you bring me to?
I've said that too.
And see, I had just discovered it was coming out. I'm like, it's a new anime. It's a figure skate. Nothing's wrong with this. I watch it. I got hooked on the first episode.
I was watching it with my sister.
But my
We were
invisible
literally
sis-
down in the basement watching it on Netflix as it was coming out.
No, I was watching it by myself as it's coming out.
There's some animes that you just don't watch by yourself. Grave of Fireflies comes to matter. Anyone that's listening to this, have a captive audience for that one. You all suffer together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I personally haven't watched it, but I've seen enough horror
I-
stories.
I've seen-
about
It's
it.
like
I
more
have.
of it.
I have that movie, and
I need a captive audience to not make me slit my own throat.
there was a couple other anime that I
So a
was
taped chair and just watching the.
just pull
It's like in
Joker.
those horror films.
Just pull a Joker from DC Comics. You're in the chair.
the
Eyelids.
eyelids
No,
opened up.
it's like the robot chicken thing where you're strapped in a chair.
exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's what the Joker did.
Yep. They also did
Or
that in Teen
Batman.
Titans.
No, that was to. I think one of the times it was to Jim Gordon,
Oh Jesus, I feel sorry for you.
or he went insane type deal, and like, I think it was called the Killing Joke archetype. At least it was.
They
in
just
the movie.
played
It's been a
some
while.
Batman movies on Toonami.
Oh
And
yeah.
that brings up to like Toonami. I'm like, that is freaking awesome.
I do like what Toonami is doing because I think that's the only way we can actually watch over broadcast in a way
Well,
any animes
well, here's the thing.
like off of cable.
There's still a few that aren't on it. Like for instance, Yokai Watch is on like Disney XD. For the ones that are still like on Cartoon Network, which I'm so surprised that they're even still airing this, is Bakugan. That's
Which version of Bakugan?
it's the
though?
new one.
Okay.
I think
the
Okay.
new
I
one.
think they just kind of redid it or something.
No,
Or
no,
sorry.
it's a new
It's like-
release.
Or, yeah, whatever.
It's like
because
on like
it's
early
been, like, a
Saturday
decent-
or Sunday morning that they play it.
And I've seen the original Bakugan. I've seen the Bakugan like
I used to have
armor or whatever it was
yeah,
called.
I used to have the toys.
you
when
know,
I was back in high
speaking
school.
of that, I don't know what was the like. I kind of was walking by like in Target or Walmart, whichever, and I glanced over since the toy aisle was on my left or whatnot.
Something.
And like glanced in, I was like, wait a minute. And I saw Bakugan toys. I was like, wait a minute, this is still a thing? I remember this like years ago. I was like, wait a minute.
I was like in high school when
Yeah,
Bakugan was a thing. That was
exactly.
like almost 10 years ago.
Speaking of ones I watched, I don't know if I know they made a card game, but it never really took off. It was called Duel Masters.
Yes.
I
remember Duel Masters.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
I love that episode when literally Yugi, basically the
no,
little Yugi.
No. Duel Masters.
No,
is,
there was
a
an
different
episode.
No, that's a different. Different. This is a whole
Duel
different
Masters
anime.
is a completely different card game. With
Yeah.
different concepts, different everything.
So there was a thing like in Yu-Gi-Oh that had
In
the same
Yu-Gi-Oh,
thing.
they called it Duel Monsters.
Yeah.
That was their
This is
card
Duel
game.
Masters.
Yeah.
And then there's another old card game that I'm not sure if either of you've heard of it called the Five Rings.
Never heard of it.
It sounds familiar, but
It
not really.
it never really took off. It was even more underdeveloped than Duel Masters, and that was already kind of low back in the day. But Five Rings was a very old, very limited card game. I actually have quite a few of the cards, funny enough. That once you had all 5 rings in your hand, you win. It's kind of like the Exodia thing.
Okay.
So
it played
I'm
a little
amazed that
bit-
that's not even banned.
It's basically like
Limited to one per piece.
Yeah, one per piece.
It's basically like if Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering kind of combine concepts.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh already did that up to a certain point. Because now it almost seems more complicated than Magic.
No,
No,
Magic
Magic
is
is still more complicated.
Wow.
They just added another land
Oh, Jesus.
called Waste.
Oh, jeez. I'm never going to get into some of these card games.
my friends want me to start playing Magic more. It's like, I don't know yet.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
I have
setting
some
up
cards, but
what I really want to try to do is set up our own D&D.
Well, I've never really got into D&D.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
I want to
somebody
get...
has to. I think I know some people who do that, but it's more like, oh man, I don't know if I have the patience for that.
That's like the thing with me. I want to get into D&D just to get a feel for it. I don't think we're recording on our little camera there.
Oh, unless it filled
Yeah.
up, I don't know.
No, that's
Anyway.
a 64 gig card.
I don't know.
It might have turned off or gone to sleep. Whatever.
Sidetrack.
Yeah.
No, like I've created characters for D&D. I've actually played a couple campaigns, but I've never played my own campaign with people. I've always just taken over for somebody else and played their character.
It's like it's almost like in a close niche of itself. Like within like the nerd community, this is like the apex of the notion of a clique. These are all your super close friends, and like anyone that wants to, participate. All right, you can participate. Cannon fodder up front.
But then it also depends on which version of D&D you're talking about. Are you talking about what is it? 3, 3.5, 4, going back to the alpha beta era.
See now you're adding all those, and it's like, oh man, I don't think I ever want to start that.
And then that's just the simple stuff.
Oh yeah.
By the
sure.
way.
Oh god, yeah.
Because there's like 7 base classes in the original, and then depending on which version you're gonna play with, there's like a whole bunch of other classes and races that you can choose. One of my favorite classes is called the Tabaxi race, which is a cat. It is a cat race. I love that race.
Just reminds me of Dot Hack Sign with the cat player.
Yeah.
But speaking of Dot Hack Sign, what is your favorite genre of anime manga?
I would have to say isekai.
There you go.
Well,
What is Dot Hack Sign?
Dot Hack Sign, I would classify it more as actual sci-fi, just like Sword Art Online, because you haven't physically been transported to a magical world. Like, that is literally what I classify as an isekai. In both SAO, which is Sword Art Online for any of you who's listening,
If you're not looking at the parentheses.
parentheses, air quotes, and Dot Hack Sign, air quotes, are all man-made created worlds. These are like a video game or something like that. But this is where an isekai is basically a normal person, which there's one anime I want to talk about actually, because it covers all the bases on how you get isekai. And it's funny on how you get isekai. But I digress for right now. Is that you're transported into a fantasy world that is a real blood world. This isn't a digital world. Yes, I get it. Any of you who's watching the latest season of SAO may bite my head off for this. Underworld, yes. I digress on that, leaving that aside with it being its own science fiction genre. But I'm talking about most times it goes into more of a fantasy kind of setting, because if you look at most of all the isekais, it's like you go into a fantasy world. I mean, I don't classify Gun Gale Online as a fantasy world.
No, but I still classify, at least personally, I classify SAO and Dot Hack as an isekai, because you are being transported. Your mind is being transported.
Well, yeah, but I would classify it more as like a trap and survival anime.
But you're still pulled into
but there's still other animes that had the same kind of concept of being trapped and battling to the death.
But then
Digimon.
Then I'll ask you a question.
Digimon I would still classify as a isekai because they're forcefully transported to this world.
They're transported, but they don't know how to get back. There. And that's where I feel like
because with SAO you do have a way of getting back.
And yes, in the later season, in the original.
Well, they already had it where they could get out is by beating the game, and that's where the abridge comes in. It's like, so essentially, you want us to beat an MMO? Yeah. Have you ever heard? Has anyone beat EverQuest? Have you ever heard of anyone playing EverQuest?
I mean, but then in ALO, which is the Alfheim Online, you can just instantly log out and go out.
Well, yeah, but then but in isekai you can't do that unless you're freaking. There's only one anime that did that. Where I keep it was like the world's most overly cautious hero.
Yeah.
He literally went. He didn't go back to his world. He went back from the world he's trying to save to the heaven world, and I just love the goddess. So sexy with a six pack.
At least that goddess is better than Aqua.
At least you're right. She was at least useful to a degree.
There you go. Okay.
But dang, was she thirsty?
I'll say Aqua is still more useful than Darkness. Aqua is still more useful than Darkness. Darkness is the most useful.
Darkness is just cannon fodder. That's all she's good for me. She needs to change job classes from Crusader to Tank. At least she'll get more points up.
But then Megamine is probably my most favorite and my waifu.
Oh, I love Megamine.
Okay, so speaking of Megamine, in the light novel, Megamine actually gets with Kazuma. She actually gets with him in the light novel.
If you actually watch the movie,
Heaven's Field.
Yeah, her parents literally lock Kazuma in the thing, and he's like just chilling like a ball. He's like, "What's up, pretty girl?" And she's like, "Ah!"
Oh, I also like how we
let me out. They even iced the whole freaking room.
I like how we were talking about this anime and we didn't name it Konosuba. For those who are wondering what this is, it's called Konosuba.
The anime with the worst possible plot.
Yes.
Character development.
So I say there's another one that's kind of like this. It's called In Another World with My Smartphone.
Oh, that's when the dude's just OP as hell.
It is, but it's still a little better than Konosuba plot-wise.
There is no plot to Konosuba.
That's my point. That is my point.
That's what makes it so good.
But yeah, in Smartphone
here is absolutely no idea.
I have no idea what you're
I'm just tuning out.
In Smartphone, there is season 2 that is on its way.
Yes, I've actually started reading more of the manga, and I'm like, oh, I want more. I want more
myself. And with Konosuba, they have a movie to tie it together.
Oh, God. Wait. Oh, yeah, Konosuba does have it for their 3rd season that's coming out. another really good one, because there's an anime right now that just bashed the big top 4 isekai.
I bet know what you're talking about.
Take a guess.
Shield Hero.
No!
I mean, Shield Hero is
I said
definitely the...
MASH! Mash up! Mash
Which
up!
one are you... Okay, what are you thinking?
It's the, oh god, it's, blah, 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 my throat is going. It's like, if I say it, I will die! But it's the, Ikasai, I said that wrong, it's my throat. Isekai, thank you. Isekai Quartet, which has the big 4 isekai animes, which is Overlord, Konosuba, the Saga of Tanya the Terrible, and Re:Zero, which just had its 2nd season, and we finally know who the witch is. No spoilers, that's as far as you're going to get out of me.
I like 2 of the 4.
Which ones?
The ones I don't like is Tanya the Terrible and Overlord. I have tried them both.
I know why. I have a feeling I know why. They're super dark. That's why you don't like them.
I love dark anime. Absolutely love dark anime.
Okay, you have a guy that's isekai'd as a freaking villain.
I mean, yeah, but
then you have, which I need to correct people on this because I'm getting totally peeved that people are doing this. The character of Tanya, she is a little German fascist, not Nazi, fascist. Numero uno is when it takes place, not dos.
But
just had to clarify that.
But no.
Everyone calls her a German Nazi lolly. No, she's a German fascist lolly.
I like animes like Blood Sea, Another, Danganronpa.
Blood Sea is really good. I actually got an interview with actually the voice actress that played that.
Oh, nice.
So she actually, the director didn't actually, because with Blood Sea, you know how she was this cute, bubbly kind of personality.
Yeah.
It's like octaves about like 10 on pitch. But
Basically
when it came to like the movie, like kind of close to the end, because she had another role too, because she was Mocha from Vampire Plus.
I like that one too.
It's the same voice actress that she had the same thing. And so, actually, with that, because she didn't actually get the role for Vampire Plus Rosary, that's the name of that anime. She only was playing the Happy Go Mocha, but someone else played the Dark Mocha. Ooh, Dark Mocha sounds really good about now.
I like a white
mocha.
I like a white mocha, please.
You know, pink mocha. Pink mocha. Everyone likes the pink mocha. I wouldn't mind a mix of between black and pink.
I mean, yeah, the pink ones are really good.
But I digress. Getting back to the Blood Sea, she actually convinced her director for the Blood Sea anime to play the dark role, because he didn't think, because she had this really high-pitched voice, that it wouldn't fit. How would she get it to be like, you know, much darker kind of notion? So the director thought, what the hell? Let's give her a shot. She's really wanting to try, and it helps with a voice actor being to expand their
something
things.
else that they're not comfortable with. Get outside of their comfort zone.
Try another role that they're not very familiar with, or something like that. And so she tried doing that. Well, she actually got the role, but it cost her voice. Her voice was sore after a while, because again, she was very not used to that type of role, but it fit perfectly from the nice blend. So, yeah, that was really good.
But yeah, back to the other part is like, I like my dark anime. I don't like Overlord.
And
it's not
what's
because
wrong with Overlord?
For me, it's just, I don't like the concept.
How?
I don't know. I've seen like the first like 10 episodes, and of the season 1 at least. And
there's 12 episodes. Did you not finish the last two?
I did not.
Oh, come on. That's when it has an OP battle between... No spoilers, because this thing's been out for God knows how long. Where...
No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Let's just say there's a big badass battle.
So yeah, no, I never finished the
end
anime.
of the season, what do you expect?
Well, true.
I mean, I just couldn't really get into it.
I can understand Tanya, because that's a lot of... Like, the first 2 episodes is a lot of thinker. Because you have to really think, because this is literally a 40-year-old man that is like a rational fiend that's now in the body of a 10-year-old little girl. And by the way, this is all God's doing. Because this whole point of that anime was to prove this person that if you believe in God, you basically, if I put you in a situation, you will believe in God. And I'm like, well, this is a very nice God. So because I don't believe in you, you're going to put me in a situation where it's going to force me to believe that you, this weird being, which this character refers to being X, because he actually did have a very good point in that anime. It's like, you're this omnipotent God. Why are you interfering with me? Like, your whole point is not to interfere. What you're doing right now is really interfering.
And now I'm going to get a lot of hatred for this. I've already got a lot of hatred all throughout high school and through a lot of the nerd community.
What did you do?
There is an anime I absolutely hate. I don't know why. I have tried the manga, I have tried the movie, I have tried the series. I cannot get into it for the love of me. Death Note.
I can see why.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, I think the movie would.
If you're talking
made
about
it
the
horrible too.
Are you talking about the live action?
No. I'm not even talking about the live action. I'm talking about the Japanese animated movie of Death Note.
Oh, animated. You're not. Are you talking about the cartoon?
I've tried the manga and the cartoon, or the TV series.
Well, they.
Then there was two Death Note animated movies that were Japanese only, English subbed.
I'm kind of confused on what we're talking about now, because I know Death Note was an anime and a manga. I read both anime and manga,
and I could not get into either.
I thought you were talking about something like live action here.
No.
But they did also do a live action.
Oh, but that was by Netflix, which was already horrible to begin with.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Bleach.
Was it?
Yeah,
it was by Netflix. Netflix has tried all of the live action ones.
Apparently, that was one of their early origins.
I think the only live action one I think is good is the Ronin Kenshin one.
There's a few, like Space Battleship Yamamoto. That was an actual Japanese one. I mean, it was really good. I'd actually recommend that one. I mean, the last U.S. one that was made that I still say was pretty good, no matter what anyone says. Because I've seen the original anime of Ghost in a Shell. They actually depicted picking Scarlett Johansson fit very well with the original concept of Major.
And that was not an actual Netflix one. That one was an actual studio.
Yeah, but a lot of people gave it.
I know. I definitely agree. I liked that movie. I watched it.
Sure, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it combined both the original Ghost in the Shell. My biggest gripe was actually with Bato. He's the
I know which one you're talking
about.
about.
The one with the eyes. How he got his prosthetics was irked me. Because with Major, how she got her cybernetic body was due to an accident, if you actually paid attention. In the original movie, they don't actually say.
I think it's just because there's too much stuff to cover.
Oh, yeah,
so they kind of cut some stuff down.
Yeah, but they combined basically the standalone complex with the original movie. Because a lot of the scenes, it was from the original movie. But they add some of the characters from the animated series. But yeah, I love the Scarlett Johansson version of Major. It fit so perfect.
And the whole gripe of it, that I think the biggest gripe that everyone was giving it, or a majority, was it was being accused of whitewashing.
Yeah.
And I...
But the funny thing was, I found out a lot of stuff is, like, a lot of Japanese animation doesn't actually want realism.
Yeah.
That explains why they're using a lot of Western audiences as examples.
And the part that I always like to point out, too, is like, well, obviously they don't really know the whole premise of the story, because the Major character, all the real part of her is just the brain. So she can slip into whichever body she wants. Because I think, if I remember correctly, there's even one of the anime episodes where she had a male body.
Yeah.
So
she also had a male body and then a small child's body.
So she just slipped in. That actually kind of reminds. I don't know. I don't know if this was based off of an anime, but Netflix did a something similar to it.
Oh yeah,
Altered Carbon.
yeah. Because I actually found out something very interesting doing some
Found it during
research
quarantine,
on.
so I was like, all right, I'll
yeah.
watch this. Oh man, I loved it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen it
But
yet.
yeah,
So no spoilers.
right.
From the funny thing about with Ghost in the Shell, I actually was reading an article recently that the concept of the Matrix actually was inspired by Ghost in the Shell. I'm thinking, oh my god, that's awesome! An anime inspired a '90s movie.
A really good
90s movie.
Wait, which movie?
Matrix.
Matrix.
Oh, okay. Sorry, when you said Matrix, my first thought was the Matrix of Leadership from Transformers. I'm like, wait a minute, how's that? But, however, you're not wrong, because all the knowledge of all the beings that possess the Matrix is all stored inside the Matrix. So, somehow you're not wrong with that. So I was like, okay. It's like, wait a minute, that's a weird twist.
Oh yeah. But yeah, but there's other isekais, and that's what I'm saying because these past couple years, they've been beating the isekai horse.
I mean, like I was saying, Shield Hero is another good
that one
isekai.
was really good.
And I'm
but
waiting
be
for
careful.
season 2.
Be very, very careful with this one. You don't want those SJW people coming down on your throat.
What?
Oh my god, don't you remember episode 1? The friggin' princess basically...
Oh, I just got done rewatching it. I was trying to figure out what you meant by SJW.
SJW is like the civil rights thing with women.
Oh, okay. That's what was confusing me. I'm like, what?
You forgot to read the parentheses.
No, like
yeah, they had a huge gripe thing, because this was also during the voice actor between Bulma and
yes.
Oh,
the whole that whole situation.
yeah.
I do not want to
that's
get into
when
that.
that anime came out.
that's a whole nother thing.
I don't want to get into that.
That's
I
a
don't
whole
wanna get
other
into
thing.
that.
But that's what basically made that anime. A lot of people hated the first episode because the main princess set him up, saying that he assaulted her and basically raped her, and this wasn't the case.
Yeah,
I
but
think I remember you talking about, or somebody was talking about this.
yeah, no. I like the how the princess, I will say, the first princess, I think is what you call.
Wait, no. Well, yes, you're talking about the one that likes all the forlolials.
No, that's the second princess. That's second princess. That's Mel.
Do you like the redhead?
I do not like the redhead.
Okay, then you're on my good terms.
I mean, I was gonna say with what I like with the redhead of what happens in the ending.
Oh yes. Okay.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I like what happens to her at the end of the first season.
Oh, and did you see like the emotion behind with her mom?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, it's like the queen actually had power. But getting back with this Shield Heroes, there's actually something very interesting about those characters. Because you remember, we have the Shield Hero, which is now Fumi, which is the main character.
Yes.
Then we have the Spear Hero, the Sword Hero, and the Archery Hero. Here's the funny thing. How they all became, because they're all isekai. How they came to the world. Do you remember how they came?
Yes, I do. Like I said, I just got done rewatching this
So
with my
basically,
girlfriend.
now Fumi's the only interesting character that I would say, because he's the only one that physically can go home.
Except, here's the thing. At the very end of the series, we were introduced to more heroes, because we got the fan hero, we got
But those I'm thinking are from alternate. That's from an alternate world.
But we don't know.
No, it
We
is
don't
true.
know.
But what I'm saying is Nafumi plays a bigger role out of all the heroes, because think about how each individual hero dies. There's the Shield. Let's just start with the Spear Hero, because everyone loves bashing on the.
I like him. I'm sorry. I like him.
Do you know how he died?
Wait, did he die?
Yes.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. I have to explain this, because this is something that gets the ticker thinking. That now Fumi's the only one that did not die. He was the only one that was summoned. He was physically summoned. The Spear Hero ended up getting stabbed by the girl that he was two-timing. there are two girls there.
Where is this explained?
This is explained when they're talking about how they came about. I watched a thing that on a YouTuber that talked about what cut content. So you want to probably pick up the light novel series.
Okay, no, I want to pick up the light novel series for a lot of series, like SAO. I want to pick up the light novel series for,
because with the spear hero, he ends up Spearow.
Wait,
I'm just thinking of Philo kicking him in the you-know-what.
I think about it's the Spearow. Who is that? Who is that Pokemon?
It's Spearow. But he dies by getting 2 times. He gets stabbed by the girl that he was 2-timing. They're both there, and as he's trying to explain, it's the girl that he was cheating on, the one that he was cheating with, ended up stabbing him. The other, when it came
Let's go to the sword hero, Ren.
He actually dies trying to save a mugger. No, that was actually the bow hero. The bow hero...
I forget the bow hero's name already.
Yeah, the bow hero is the one that tried to save someone that was getting mugged and ended up getting shanked in the end. Slime comes to mind. And then the sword hero basically gets hit by a truck. Typical truck-coon.
So, I'm going to say...
But when you look at, now, Fumi, where is he when he's transported?
Library.
He's in a library. He picks up a book and he's reading the story. And then once he gets to the point where it's blank, he is transported. So now Fumi is the only one, physically the only one, that can actually go home. But he chooses not to.
But again, there's more heroes that see that who knows if they can go home or not. But
they're also trying to figure out, because one of the prophecies from one of the Filiolio Queen was you had 2 options. One, to either save the world or to save something else. He had 2 options on what he could do based off of his actions. So it almost leads into a thing where you could actually, he could save both worlds. It hints that both the worlds that they're battling with the waves and all that are somewhat connected with the cause. And if they all work together, because right now none of the heroes are working together. It's perfectly understandable why.
I mean, like I said, the fan hero was telling Narfumi that she had to defeat him. What?
He was the only one
that
she acknowledged. All the rest of them were like ants beneath her feet.
They're weak.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. They're weak. And they level up, and he never leveled up once.
And they're blaming him for cheating. I'm like, I don't play, because that was another thing. He never played games.
He never played games, but it's not the. He's not
familiar
cheating.
with the. Yeah, he was doing everything old school.
Like, he's not cheating because he is using his shield. He just has to play by different rules in order to actually gain experience, and that is until he gets oh gosh, what's her name?
Well, we have Raftalia.
Yeah, Raftalia.
Philo.
I was gonna say Raftalia. Once he gets Raftalia, his sword, he's actually is able to gain experience. But before that,
he was grinding like hardcore.
He was grinding on balloons, which are basically the Goombas. Concept. They're the Goombas.
And then he actually, his party members, the other heroes, get upset that he bought a slave. I'm like, this was the only option he had.
Yeah, because what are you?
But he wasn't treating her badly.
No,
he in the beginning he did see her more as
a tool.
But if the tool wasn't going to work, it was better off just letting it be and going off to be safe.
Are you going to use a rusty spade?
No emotional attachment.
Yeah, he did say, if you're not going to fight this, then run.
Yeah, he did.
He literally told her, if you're not going to fight...
quote.
Yeah, if you're not going to fight...
You're talking about a series I have not seen.
I would watch it. It's really good.
Oh, I have it on DVD, so you
I
can
haven't bought it
you
yet.
kind of went through everything.
It's at Best Buy right now.
I know, but I just don't have the money. That's why.
That's basically with me as well.
It's 30, what is it, like $30 for season part 1? And then $30 for part 2? Yeah.
Anime is expensive.
It really is. Well, some anime.
And that's why I have to say it has to be a hobby.
You have to do different, like, all right, time to get this one.
I literally just bought $100 just today buying I think it was 4 or 5 animes. I saw the original Appleseed anime, and I'm like, ooh, I have almost every single one but the 1980s one, and I'm like, it's $8. I'm taking it. Then they had Moon Phase, which is a really good.
I remember Moon Phase.
I was tied between Trinity Blood or Moon Phase.
I would have gone with Trinity Blood, honestly.
Well, yeah, I kind of.
Trinity Blood is such a good one.
It was good. It was one of the animes that was on Toonami. No, not Toonami, Adult Swim.
But then remember a while back, what was it, like in June, I bought all those like 17 or 18 different animes for like $100, a little over $100.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, I bought like a complete series of half of those. Some of them I found out were not complete series, and I thought it was when I bought it.
Yeah, I've had that happen at cons.
Well, I think when we were wandering around Best Buy, we were like looking. It's like, oh yeah, oh wait, no, this only has half the episodes.
Yeah.
For like the ridiculous price of like $50.
One of the things I had was like part 3 of an anime. I'm like,
Part 3.
Yeah.
I usually
weirdo.
never. That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I
even
usually
I
do
know that's
part
weird.
1 and part 2. That comprises of season 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Season 2 is part 1 and 2 of season 2.
No, this one literally said part 3 of this one. I'm like,
What? It would suck if they did that with Overlord when it's only 12 episodes.
well,
$50 for 6, $50 for the other 6.
No. Let's do this one even better. The Fire Emblem anime. There's 2 episodes.
Fire Emblem?
Yes, Fire Emblem actually tried to be an anime way back in the day. It was like the early 2000s or late 90s.
I didn't even know that. I know it was a game. But
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't know
it was a game.
anime.
But they tried to do an anime of it. They
Or
recorded
anime.
2 episodes. They recorded 2 episodes, and it flopped so hard that they decided to cancel it before they continued.
Speaking of animes that flopped hard, there's one particular one that I literally recommend to anyone to watch this. And it was called Ghost Stories. Basically,
I want to know the Netflix series of Ghost Stories.
Well, the premise of this was basically got a bunch of elementary school students and dealing with ghosts and stuff that are being released because the town is basically decided to remodel and basically releasing thousands of spirits without even knowing it. So basically you have these bunch of elementary school kids that are trying to, exorcise all the ghosts and stuff like that. This is the Japanese one. It goes with a lot of Japanese lore and stuff like that. Oddly enough, poor timing on when it was being aired caused the sales to basically drop to a rock. This came out in about the 90s, so they gave the rights to an American dubbing company, and here's the kicker. They had 2 criterias that they had to do. There's 3 things that they told them what they can and can't do. The first 2 is they can't change any of the names of the characters. The second was they can't change any of the names of the ghost. Other than that, it was free game for the dialogue. And so this anime was basically like the genesis or the crucible of all abridged series.
I was
like, they literally changed all of the characters' personalities. They had one girl that was supposed to be, a spirit, someone that's in tune with the spirits and stuff like that. But they turned her into a diehard Christian, reborn Christian.
Wow.
From, like, drugs and stuff like that.
Switcheroo.
I mean, I will say, with how you describe that anime, it reminds me of another anime with a very similar concept.
I'm gonna say Yokai Watch.
No, actually, Cardcaptor Sakura. Because you
Cardcaptor Sakura was more a magical girl than, supernatural ghosts that are trying to steal your soul.
Here's the thing. The reason I say it, it reminded me of that concept, is you said they released those 1,000 ghosts, right?
Oh,
in
yeah.
Cardcaptor Sakura, she was going through that book or whatever, and she released all those different things. And she is a little girl, high school, and her brother's a high schooler, that they have to go out and capture these spirits. So the concept is kind of similar. Just one's magical and one's
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
You know, all this just sounds like sounds
Super-
like Japanese Ghostbusters.
It does almost sound like Japanese Ghostbusters.
Who's gonna call?
Ghostbuster! Oh man.
Japanese Ghostbusters featuring the Magical Girls.
Oh, don't get me started. There's several magical girl animes out there that is like, what WTF?
I mean, there is this one magical
Oh,
girl.
what's that one called? That Magicy Maga?
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
Madoka Magica.
That one.
Oh my god. I'm still
Even I
try-
kind of know about that one. And
Oh my god, there's one episode, it goes really dark. I just want to say F Cube. I have to say that. F that little little demon.
I mean, I like Yubei, but it's just what Yubei does. I will give you that.
I understand that he's hungry, and all he's doing is preparing his dinner. But that doesn't mean changing little girls to be your dinner.
Yeah. See, it's like when you mentioned dark or like ghost, extreme dark, you know, like that. I was like, okay, I know I haven't watched like the full series. I know I've listened to a couple panels because my sister does the panel for it, so I have an idea on what it is. But it's still, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
One of those animes that it's hard to get into, but oddly
at least
enough,
I have a rough idea
I mean,
what the premise
I
is.
love Madoka Magica. The only thing I have not seen is the third movie, which is kind of its own thing. The first two movies are basically just a recap of the series.
they kind of did that like with Code Geass when they led up to the new movies.
Actually, it kind of sounds like the Digimon Try. In Japan, it was like an actual series. Over here, it was split into 6 movies.
Wow.
And they were enjoyable nevertheless. My favorite part was in the 5th movie during the premiere, there's on the screen, there's basically, we'll call it like a forced fusion among 2 characters, or 2 character Digimon or some sort. So it basically, you can tell, like, it got a little rough when you see like both of their faces are just going together. And
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Digimon Fusion, right?
no. This one's like a dark fusion.
Ah.
This one was a forced one. This is more like they're just melting together. And
Almost sounds like
the
Soul Eater.
A little bit. I could see that.
in the theater,
It's like Soul Resonant.
if that
But
that
no.
phase was happening,
It's not Soul Resident. It's not Soul Resident. It's the Black Blood. I'll say it's more like Black Blood than Soul. More so than Soul Resident. It's more like Black Blood.
Yeah, where they literally go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that episode. It's like with Maka. Oh my god, she went like from this mature young lady to this like childlike thing.
Well, I was gonna say the manga over the animated series of Soul Eater is completely different after episode 15. It's kind of like the
They probably did like the same thing
it's
like
kinda
with
like-
Full Metal
yeah,
Alchemist.
it's like Full
They
Metal
caught
Alchemist.
up to the manga and they had to continue
Yeah,
on with the.
But
anime.
the thing is, was how they did the anime. Was the writer did not like how it was being changed, and actually was telling the director and the producer.
Let's take a quick break, shall we?
Haven't you heard? Otaku USA's got you covered for all your anime and manga needs. Keep up to date with in-depth articles and reviews of the latest anime and manga series. Spike your curiosity with 32 pages of free manga in every issue. And don't forget to get your game on. Otaku USA has in-depth reviews of the latest games and titles, as well as breathtaking and stunning cosplay photos. So subscribe today and get your own copy of Otaku USA. Go get your nerd on, Otaku USA.
He had the weird
Yeah,
glasses.
okay, yeah, I know
Yeah,
which one you're
he got
talking about.
second place. Maka got first, but after that episode, it became its own thing. The manga was its own thing. They were 2 completely different entities. The manga continued, of course, after the Kishin arc. Sorry. And they're with the book of Ebon, which is another manga arc, which I would love to see a Brotherhood version of Soul Eater come to the
That
animated
would
thing.
be interesting.
Because mostly I want to see the Book of Ebon arc. That's my favorite manga arc of all time. Is the Book of Ebon arc.
But the funny thing was, a lot of people were fine with like the Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, FMA, and even the writer was okay with it, but the writer for Soul Eater was not.
Well, and you do, as a creator, have the right to refuse the production of a work.
Yeah, so he, like I said, he was okay with them finishing the arc because they were already almost done with the arc. But after episode 51, which is the final episode, and with
So
the
there were
famous
supposed to
Waka
be
Punch,
more episodes.
there
after.
was going to be more episodes.
So did they get was the manga up to like episode 51?
No. Like I said, after the story with the college exam or the exam episode, it became its own thing. I don't remember why they diverted from the path of the manga, but they diverted from the manga path. I don't remember why. But
It
it
sucks.
But then there's also Soul Eater Not, which is a comedy spin-off when they're in their final year.
Well, that's the thing that I always try to figure out. How did Soul Eater not fit in with Soul Eater? I thought it was like its own standalone thing. Did it have any correlation?
Yes,
whatsoever?
actually, because Maka, Death the Kid, Black Star,
So
Tsubaki,
it is canon.
It is canon. All those characters, though, are in their final year at Death Academy.
Okay.
And
so
the
there's like a whole slew of stuff missing that would make Soul Eater not make sense.
Yep.
Because I thought it was like a complete when Soul Eater Not came out was this was something in between of everything that Maka and all the other casts, and these were other girls that were in this pre-class, and all the other events that are going around are having it the exact same time.
Nope.
That's what I thought.
Nope, they're literally in their final year of Death Academy, their 4th year or 3rd year, or whatever
so
it was.
None of them were ever gotten to Death Scythe.
But back to the Book of Ebon arc. The reason I like that is because of what my favorite. Back to you like isekai.
Oh, well, yeah.
My favorite is gender benders or cross dressers or whatever term you want to use.
There's
traps,
one that
reverse
comes to
traps.
There's one that comes to mind that I just love, and that's from Hayate the Combat Butler.
But basically what happens...
They just try to put him in a dress.
But what happens in this, the Book of Ebon, is they get transported into the book. And they become the opposite gender. Maka becomes a guy, the kid becomes a girl. And it's the main 7 characters.
Ooh.
So even Liz and Patty become guys.
Ooh. Oh, there's a whole bunch of fanfic right there.
Yes, Liz and Patty become guys. Tsubaki becomes a guy. Maka becomes a guy. Soul Eater, Black Star, and Death the Kid all become girls.
That's kind of interesting.
It's weird.
Now Death the Kid's OCD of everything is now a moe factor.
Wow.
They just moified Death the Kid.
So it's just like, but this was way late in the manga. This is way late in the
I
manga.
might actually want to pick up the manga just to see that
Just to see
freaking
how it
art.
is.
It's funny.
It's like, why do you have this? Like, no, I just went to check out this particular arc.
I didn't want to read this one part.
It's like I don't care about anything more or less, just this one.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, and that wasn't even the last arc either. So they all become
When does anime ever end?
when it ends.
No, when the author dies
I
or
mean,
gets
look at One Piece.
arrested.
I mean, look at One Piece. We're already almost over 1,000 episodes.
We are at, I believe the count right now
It's
is
like
like 980 some odd episodes.
Like I said, almost
Someone can
1,000.
fact check. We have smartphones. Let's
Yeah,
fact
I'm
check.
gonna double
I will
check
say
this.
it's still not the longest running anime in the world.
It is. It's the
No.
longest running manga. at
No, it's
least.
not. A manga,
What?
manga maybe. Anime, no. The longest running anime is Japanese anime called Sai-san. Or Saizei-san or something like that.
I thought it was Gaitama.
No. Even Gintama is beat by this thing.
But they consider Gaitama like the Simpsons of the anime world.
So,
No, that's Sai-san.
so
That's
for-
Sai-san.
Sai-san?
One
Am I
Piece,
thinking
it
of the
is
same
current-
thing?
Probably
It
not.
is currently at 941 episodes.
How many?
941
941
for One Piece.
Wow.
But no, Saison is a anime that came out in the 1960s that is still running to this day
Okay.
and has over 7,500 episodes.
I might want to look that up if they're still making new ones.
If you want to compare it to the longest running show in America, I'm pretty sure The Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons was 80s.
End of 89.
Yeah.
They're at 684 episodes.
Wow. One Piece has more episodes.
I know, right? It's like, wow, that's pretty neat, pretty good there. This is according to Wikipedia.
And actually, it was not the 1960s, it was the 1940s.
It almost reminds me of Shin-Chan.
But yeah, this is the
That
longest...
took me forever to realize that was actually anime.
Which one?
Shin-Chan.
I don't know what that one is.
Oh god, it deals like with a 5-year-old kid. Oh my god, this is like so adult material for like what this kid is doing. Is like he's doing like the elephant dance and stuff like that. So he drops his pants and he's like, America is not doing very good with preventing exploitation of children with this show. But you have the innocence factor of a, which I basically didn't go through the censoring laws. Apparently everyone likes cute little boys. That doesn't help the anti-child thing. No, because Japan has a rule with censoring anything with genitalia or anything like that. But I'm looking at this 5-year-old little kid. Maybe that's because it's not put in a sexual way. But I'm looking at a 5-year-old little Wang here. And he's doing the little elephant dance and stuff like that. And I'm like...
Okay.
Okay! This has to be American. There's no possible way. This has to be American. That's the only way they can show anything. But it turned out it was an actual anime.
So yeah, it's like, there's a bunch of...
what am I looking at?
Words. You were looking at words.
Words.
So read the words.
But like I said, there's a bunch of different manga things like the whole with the soldier, like again, like you said, Full Metal Alchemist versus Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Watch up until Hughes' death for Full Metal Alchemist. Go to Brotherhood, you'll be fine.
Really, you will. But I mean, okay,
because they do cut out one scene that's in the manga, and that's when he's in the desert area when he's reading to he's trying to the preacher. The guy with the fake stone.
Yeah, I know.
That's actually in the manga, but in Brotherhood they cut that out.
Yeah, in the manga or in the Brotherhood they cut that out. In the original they have that in there.
Yeah, it's the very first episode.
But here's it's completely different, and they're both worth watching. And even the sins, some of the sins are actually different. Like envy and pride are two of the biggest ones.
Yeah. And the funny thing with, I think it was Wrath, which was
not envy, Wrath and Pride, yeah.
Wrath and Pride, especially with, Wrath, he actually chose his family.
Yes.
He chose his wife. He didn't have to. He physically chose his wife. He did a really good job. It got really interesting, kind of like, especially when we were introduced to Hohenheim.
Yeah.
With Ed and Elle's father. That actually played a much bigger role on who this person was. It literally, the anime and Full Metal Alchemist had a good general direction on his importance. And then they did a really good job with little information that this person's a very big character. I love how they even had the foreshadowing of that.
I was going to say, even Scar was portrayed a little differently between the two series.
He did have it where he played a pinnacle role in both.
Yeah, he would play a pinnacle role in both. It was just like how they treated him in the original versus how they treated him in Brotherhood.
I just still love when they introduced the Armstrong sisters.
Yeah, yes.
I like how his big sister is already a general. She's hot, by the way. I'm like, I wouldn't mind being her ranks, but I would probably be a mutant hybrid of like a Spetsnaz and a Navy SEAL by the end of that deployment.
I mean, I prefer Riza, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, everyone kind of. I like Winry actually.
I like Winry too,
Everyone
but
loves Winry.
I also like that one.
I still like how he kept one auto mail.
I was gonna say
because that at least kept her busy.
I will say I like it even
Fix
in
my leg, wife.
even in the, like that. I think she's like a one-off character. It's one of Winry's friends later on. Is that person who faces against Edward in that arm wrestling contest in that one-off city, and it has different. It has like it's more of that speed auto mail. It's a different type of auto mail. It's like versus like Ed's like power auto mail. They're two different types. Speed, power. Who's gonna win an arm wrestling contest?
Yeah.
And then Ed ends up cheating with alchemy.
Oh yeah. Anime. It's like one of those wonderful gateway stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It really is. It just gets the ball rolling, and
and it gets the ticker too. I can't tell you how many times that when I'm like, I've had so many times when I'm watching such a nice, there's one anime that I'm watching, and the two people are about ready. You can say anime makes people violent because when they're about like having the kissing scene, there was this spider that came down. It probably had the same thought process as me. He wanted to get a closer look and watched it. And the next thing I do is, and I said to the spider, "That's what you get when you get between me and a good anime scene. You die. Nothing gets between me and a good confession.
But what made that
if you're on the ceiling, you're fine."
What would have made that even better is if the door opened in the anime. The door opened and the kissing scene stops before it actually happens. It's like they're getting ready to spider. Door opens. Pull away.
But yeah. Because I really think Toonami really helped a lot with getting people into
and I
anime.
think they're still doing it too.
Oh,
so
I know.
That's it makes it even better.
The funny thing with Toonami was when they stopped it abruptly. This was back like I think when I was in junior high. They just abruptly stopped it. And I'm thinking, what just happened? Why did they stop it? They didn't even have a promo for anything. They were just like almost like Cowboy Bebop, later Cowboys.
Yeah, it was on like
It's like
what,
it's like how they
2011
ended,
or
like, in
so?
the-
2011, 2012?
There was like a good year or two, or however long it was. Like they just kind of just stopped.
Oh
and then
yeah,
maybe,
no, it stopped for like 5 years.
Yeah,
and then they did a April Fool's thing because it fell on a Saturday, and they did a Toonami block from old animes to new, and it was from.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and that is when it pissed off the fan base. They had so many because they thought, "Oh my God, Toonami's coming back the next Saturday." Normal show block with the standard US stuff, and then they started getting the hate mail on why do you SOBs do this? Do you understand the pain and frustration we are feeling? And so they got a lot of hate.
Oh, I know. Like,
I was almost ready to go on that fan base too and put my own little.
I mean, I remember reading an article on line somewhere. I forget what it was. It's like they removed Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, for like Adventure Time or something like that.
That's a whole other thing.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, that is
I
a whole
know.
other thing.
But then what really made it worse was, like, I think it was next week after that, they removed another show to put on Teen Titans Go. Around the same time block.
I do remember, like, it was like a Saturdays mornings, they had it like, it was like a DC block or something like that.
Yeah, they did have like a DC
So they
block.
had,
like Superman and...
not that one. They had the Green Lantern animated series, which was all CGI'd of the Green Lantern.
Okay.
I remember
story.
that. I remember that series.
They had, I think they probably threw in Young Justice. That's probably the one that you're thinking. That probably got
Young
moved, and
Justice was...
Yeah, I think Young Justice got removed. Not Teen one of them.
Both of them.
Teen Titans Go came out a little bit later.
It's still...
It's like season 4 right now, so it's pretty recent.
I still don't like the
Don't
show.
watch the show, but I've watched both movies, and wow,
basically
they bash on them.
Oh my God,
like
the creators even bash on themselves.
Oh, I
they
know.
use Control Freak to break the fourth wall, and it's like they show clips of the original shows, and the remake people are like, we were awesome.
So
yeah, you were.
I-
but now you're a bunch of dookie jokes.
I do like how, oh man, I don't know whose sick, cruel humor did it, but I don't know if you guys know the story of the second Robin.
Tim Drake?
Yes, Tim Drake. I couldn't think of which one. So he, how he became the Red Hood was, since he was Robin, the Joker kidnapped him, beat him with a crowbar, and blew up the place, and he was presumed dead. And then it was later revealed he came back as the Red Hood. So that's the
it
whole.
almost
story.
sounds like the Batman
Yeah,
Beyond kind of thing.
Kind of it, but so okay, so that's the general storyline of the Tim Drake character. So there's a scene in Teen Titans Go where it has a picture of Batman and Robin, and next to an urn that says Robin 2 with a crowbar just laying there too.
Oh my god! That's
I was like,
dark.
wow.
Okay,
That's
like, I
super
saw that-
dark.
I know. I was like, wow.
I know Batman is a dark show.
Oh,
but
I know.
Damn.
I know. Yeah, this is Teen Titans Go.
Oh my! Wait, this is Teen Titans in.
Yeah, it's just
what
in-
episode?
I don't remember which episode, but it's just
Okay,
in
there
the
was a lot
background.
of symbolism right
Yeah,
there.
it's just on the shelf in the background, so you like,
I
so it's
need
more
to-
like,
now I
whoa,
need
wait a
to-
minute.
Now I need to watch that episode.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I've seen a few random episodes of Teen Titans Go. Like, there's an episode where they go on for a whole episode, they go on a mission to find the perfect sandwich.
That's the first episode.
And then there's another episode later on where
That reminds me of like Kids Next Door. Sandwich.
then there's two different episodes I remember with Raven. One where she's playing with My Little Pony toys. And
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
That kind of is like a complete opposite thing, but she's like playing with two little My Little. And then I think it's like Starfire or Robin walks in, and she's like, "I'm doing nothing." They walk out.
I also find it like kind of insulting that they. I love how they changed all of the characters. The only two that actually haven't seemed to change is Cyborg and Beast Boy. Their personalities are pretty much almost the same.
Oh, not quite.
Oh, and there's a photo too.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Have you not
that's
seen
so
that?
I have not seen that
Oh.
episode. I have not seen that episode.
But if you actually like look, that's the full scene or still frame.
Oh my god!
So let's just take a tour around there. So
You got
there's
the Riddler.
no, it's like Toyman or the puppet or whatever. Next to Batman Year One, so that's a nice little reference. Riddler
yeah.
question mark plate. I don't know, looks like a meatball. But
Maybe
but you also have
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze's head. This is just all sitting on the shelf. I'm not sure what Renu is referring to, but just hush bandages.
Oh, because he kept getting injured.
You know, yeah, or something. I'm not really sure. Unless that's referring to something similar along the hush. There was a new animated movie that just came out recently, Batman Hush. So maybe it's a play off of that. Maybe that story was before, and this just going towards it. I don't know, but yeah, it's just if you ever want to find this scene, just search Robin 2 Teen Titans Go,
Nice.
and you'll find you'll find it.
That's Renu.
Alright.
Oh, he's Clayface.
Clayface. Okay.
I do like how. Oh, okay. So that's probably maybe why it's a bucket.
Probably.
So maybe that's why it's a bucket then. I was like, I
Yeah, I had to look that one up, but it's like, okay.
Yeah. So what other shows did you guys like watch on Toonami?
I mean, as a kid, I didn't really have cable, so I didn't really watch.
Why do I hear that a lot? As a kid, I didn't have cable.
Okay, so I'm gonna
not like you
say
have
in
cable now.
actually no.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I'll
It's
say-
like,
Why didn't you have cable?
I'll say
That's
this
the
thing.
90s.
I'll
Who
say
had
this.
cable?
I'll say this. Until I basically got my own place, I never had cable. I still don't have cable. And I didn't have internet until I had my own place.
Well, internet is a
Ouch.
relatively new thing until like the 2000s. Then it kind of
I would say about like 2010 is when you could start watching a little bit more mainstream anime on YouTube. It's like late 2000s.
Yeah,
I'll put this into more context. I didn't have internet until probably closer to like 2016, maybe.
How did you become an anime fan?
I watched anime in high school on their computers when I should have been doing my schoolwork.
Wow.
So you did do it through online means,
Yeah,
but
just not at my house.
not.
And then I would also
home.
go to the library to watch anime on their computers until I would get kicked out or the library closed.
That's kind of funny.
I would literally.
I mean,
I think
the library was actually when I first got introduced to like manga, because
And that's another thing. I would check out manga from both my local library and my school library, or just use what a library is for. Grab a book, go to a chair, and read in the library.
Yeah, because these two I managed to buy the omnibus versions of them, but these two books my mom randomly got me at the library, thinking I might be interested in them. And it was the first volume of Love Hina and Oh My Goddess. Again, the funny thing is, my mom gave me books that I would struggle with reading because I have a reading disability, especially back then. Oh dear God, I couldn't read the broadside of a barn. I probably couldn't even read the word barn. That's how bad it was. So I'm like flipping through the pages, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. There's a lot of panty shots in here. And I'm like, I don't need to read to know where this story's going. I know exactly the direction in this place. And so that's where I started getting into more reading and stuff like that. And so then there was Oh My Goddess, which dealt with a guy, getting a goddess from a helpline. Literally, that's how it is. He made a phone call, and apparently he misdialed heaven. I don't know how you do this. He actually does this twice, which is already impressive as it is. And he thinks it's a prank, and in the Oh My Goddess one, that his friends, because he's in college, and he thinks his friends are playing a prank on him because, first of all, she pops out of a mirror. It's like, I will be coming down directly to handle your request. And he's like, wait. Then it hangs up, and the next thing he knows, the mirror glows. Like, literally, they have a brief thing. It's like, kind of like that. I'm like, she literally pops out of the mirror.
Wow.
And so basically, thinking this is a joke, because she's like, what would be your one thing? And he's like thinking all these things. It's like, what if I wanted world domination and all that? But apparently they already foreseen people for those kinds of things and already screened them out. So that was just more like a joke thing. It's like, you could even ask for the world domination and all the women in the world, but we usually avoid people like that. I'm like, okay. And so he basically says, because he thinks it's a joke from his colleagues, and he basically says, I wish I had a goddess like you to stay by my side forever. And the wish goes through, a giant beam of light shoots to heaven, and the next thing we know, because he's like, what the heck is going on? And the next thing we see, Beldandy, that's the goddess name, and she basically wakes up, and she's like, immediately goes to the phone and speed dials heaven to double check on what was going on, if that wish actually went through. It's like, okay, this anime seems like this is not going to be a comedy. This looks like she's going to be like trapped here on Earth kind of thing. But it turns out it's like, because in the tone of her voice, it's like, did it go through? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she hangs up, and it's like, well, I'm going to be staying with you now. I'm like, well, you went from being very concerned to now you're actually wanting to be with me. That you are a goddess in the essence of itself. And he does actually start falling in love and all that, and we meet other characters along the way. But those are like some of the first mangas that I ever actually read.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So, what about you guys?
I forget what the first manga I have read was. It's been a while since I've.
Yeah, I've also had these too.
It's been a
I'm
while
like,
since
look
I
at
read
the
a manga.
damage on that.
Oh yeah.
I've had this book since I was like in junior high. I'm like, look
And-
how battered this is.
And to describe to people who can't actually see it, it's worn.
Oh, it's so worn.
It's worn
like,
and torn.
oh, it's lovingly red. It's like the top corner of the book is completely gone. This thing is literally hanging on by a thread. Like half of it is still connected.
Well, stop pulling the thread.
Stop pulling the thread. And then Ayori Aoshi, there was an interesting scene that I actually cut out of this book. It was like the end text thing, and I actually started practicing sketching it for not artistic reasons. Well, you could say artistic reasons.
Maybe
but...
we'll have to cover that in another episode.
Oh, definitely.
We'll probably continue talking about just our favorite like animes and mangas at that point.
So I think we should probably call it quits on
Yes,
this.
I think time to wrap up this section.
All
Just
right.
to.
Oh yeah, I mean we're actually pretty good in.
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm sure.
man.
This one's definitely a good
Oh.
good talk.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So basically, for my next topic, that I have a couple other friends that are going to be coming in. We're actually going to be talking about Gundams.
Ooh.
And because if you ever take a look in the back room over there, you can see my
Oh
Gundam
yeah.
collection.
Oh, I've seen your collection.
I've seen your collection only once, but I've seen it.
Oh yeah, my shelf is like completely covered in like Gundams for my workstation. So I'm basically having two friends that are going to be. It's probably going to be on like two separate recordings, kind of, just because of their time. You know, like the lovely thing about audio, you can splice and all that fun
course.
editing stuff.
Oh yes. So definitely have to listen for that episode then.
Oh yeah, and if you guys ever want to stop by just to kind of see, that's more than fine.
Thank you again for listening to Nerd Talk Podcast, your one-stop anime and nerd entertainment. Until next time, Johnny.